it shows the mug, the vase, and the pear for my still life. I've drawn it very lightly, but I'll go a little darker with my pencil to see if you can see it better. Then we'll add color and shading. So I'm going to go over my lines just to create a little bit of a darker line for my drawing. I have overlapped my mug in front of my vase. So what I did there was I just drew them and then I went back and erased where it was overlapping. And I will also show the table that they're sitting on. Now, you'll notice they don't have to be in a straight line. This cup is a little in front of that vase. That pear is a little bit farther back than the cup. So you can choose, as long as they're all sitting on the table, then that's fine. Now, let's go ahead and add color to our objects. Last week when we learned about 3D forms, we learned about shading and about applying pressure. The darker you press with your crayon or pencil or colored pencil, you'll get a darker color. The heavier you press. The lighter you press, you get a lighter color. And that is how we can create shading in our artwork. So with our forms, we want them to look like there is some dimension to them, meaning that they're not just flat. I pressed dark with my blue on my vase, and I gradually pressed less dark as I kind of got into the area that it might have more light shining on it. In my picture, the light would be over on this side and shining in this way to my objects. My shadows or shading are all on this side, and my shadows are on this side. I used purple on my mug, and I did the same thing. I pressed harder over here and lighter as I went around. I did the insides of my mug and my vase dark because that would be harder to see the light inside. It's going to look a little darker in there. On my pear, I combined two different shades, like a yellowy green and a light green, and tried to create the lighter color in there. I used a brown to kind of to create more of that shading. On these two, I used a black. I went in with a little bit of black, and I just pressed real light with it to create more of a shading on those objects. I used a gray crayon for the cast shadows that are on the table. And my table itself I chose a peach, and I just went in kind of lightly and did that around my objects. Your background, you can choose any color. You could choose any color for any of these. My background, I chose two colors and overlapped them. Now, I hope that you have fun making your still life, thinking about how to draw those 3D forms and how to incorporate the shading that we've learned.